The new Google Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL are finally here, and Nexus 5X users everywhere are craving for an upgrade. Is it worth upgrading to the new Google Pixel 2, or should you stick to the Nexus 5X? All that and more is coming right up. The Nexus lineup was renowned for its pure unadulterated Android experience, and after Google phased out the Nexus lineup, it reintroduced the same concept under the Pixel name. And this year Google released its latest iteration in the Pixel lineup, the Google Pixel 2. It has a premium build quality and has a matte textured aluminum back and edges, and a glass piece just above the fingerprint sensor. Unlike the 5X, the Pixel 2 is IP67 certified, which means it can withstand 30 minutes in up to 1 meter deep water, and I actually did put the Pixel 2 up to a water test, and you can see how it fares by going to the link in the description. Anyway, one feature or lack of a feature that many users are upset with is the removal of the headphone jack on the Google Pixel 2. It's certainly something to get used to, but what makes it most annoying to me is that other high-end phones like the LG V30 and also the Galaxy S8 have managed to keep headphone jacks and also have large batteries. But if you all do end up picking a phone without a headphone jack, you'll need to get a pair of wireless earbuds, and the best ones I've used and would recommend are the JayBird X3s, so I'll have a link to those down in the description below. As far as the Nexus 5X goes, it's made of plastic and it just doesn't have the same feel in the hand as the Google Pixel 2. The cheaper, plasticky volume rockers and power button of the 5X have been replaced with an upgraded, clickier, and more sturdy set of buttons with that aluminum build. The 5X just feels far cheaper than the Pixel 2. Now, comparing the actual size of these two phones, you'll see that the Pixel 2 actually has a 5-inch screen compared to the 5X's 5.2-inch display. And the 5X is about 5/100ths of an inch taller and 1/10 of an inch wider than the Pixel 2. You will notice, however, that they are the same thickness. So like myself, after hearing these numbers, you're probably wondering why the Pixel 2 has a smaller screen and the same size battery when the phones are practically identical in size. Many would say it appears that Google traded screen size and a headphone jack for dual stereo speakers, but if you look at the Pixel 2 XL, it also has stereo speakers, but very small bezels. Now, I'm no engineer who specializes in phone design, so I'm not going to pretend to know the actual trade-offs, but I do think it's worth pointing this out. Now, if I had no idea or any prior knowledge of the size of the batteries on the Pixel 2 and 5X, I would have never guessed they were the same size. The Nexus 5X's battery life has been quite lackluster lately, and I've had to charge up throughout the day, but this is just my specific experience with the battery life. The Google Pixel 2, on the other hand, has objectively better battery life, and it's actually even better than the Galaxy S8 or iPhone 8. Fast charging is also ultra quick, and you should be able to charge your phone from 0 to 100% battery life in under 2 hours. One big plus with the Pixel 2 is that it's actually running Android 8.0. And if you own a Nexus 5X, you may be saying, hey, I just upgraded my 5X to Android 8.0. And yes, my 5X also just got that update, but take a look at these two phones and tell me if the 5X is actually running Android 8.0. Sure, you can see the similarities in the notification bar when you swipe down, but the swipe up to open app drawer feature isn't available. The Google search bar and applications have a completely different design. Sure, it got an update to Android 8.0, but it just doesn't have the features of Android 8.0 that makes Android 8.0 unique. I will say though, the Nexus 5X is still pretty darn quick for a phone that's 2 years old, but it's not at Pixel 2 speeds. Now, one area we see significant upgrades in the Google Pixel 2 is in both the front and rear facing camera quality. The Pixel 2 has a 12 megapixel shooter that is faster, far more accurate in its colors, and is just an overall improvement over the Nexus 5X. My only gripe with the camera is that it has a physical bump on the back which can cause scratches on the camera, but the 5X does have that as well. For this reason, you'll probably want to pick up a case if you do decide on the Google Pixel 2, so I'll leave some links down in the description below if you are interested. Now, for a 2-year-old phone, the Nexus 5X has fared very well. It's still pretty quick and has stood the test of time. It's certainly not a high-end phone, and its specs don't compare at all to the Pixel 2. If you're tired with lackluster battery life, want a better camera, and updated Android software, I would say to pick up the Pixel 2. Could you use the 5X another year or so? Probably, but the Pixel 2 is clearly better in just about every respect with the speaker quality, display, build quality, and so on. Anyway, let me know what you all think of the new Google Pixel 2 and whether you plan on upgrading down in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more content. I'll see you all in the next video.